First of all, I know you're a big sports fanatic.
Oh, I love
sports.
sports.
You're also a guy that keeps up on the news, and there's big news out there in the sporting world.
The big news is Oscar Pistorius.
Yeah, huge news.
And I don't like him, don't care for him, never did.
Really? You don't like Oscar Pistorius even before he... What are you doing?
I have something in my tooth.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. I didn't like him.
You're saying, I mean, a lot of people don't like him now that he murdered somebody, but,
yeah,
but before that... Allegedly.
But also, really.
Yeah. Murdered her.
But, yeah, I don't have problems with the murder.
Right.
But what I never liked him racing with them things that looked like something Wile E. Coyote would order. And
what?
Well, they were.
You had a problem with him racing with his
blades.
His blades. He was the blade runner.
Yes, he
Those
was.
Teflon blades.
I did have a big problem with it because, well, I'll put it this way. Let's imagine you're a runner, you know, with legs.
Yeah.
And then you go home, you go, oh, I lost, honey. Who'd you lose to? Guy with no legs.
Wait, you're saying that you didn't like that Oscar Pistorius raced against people with legs?
No, I don't. I feel that one of the basic requirements of being a sprinter is having legs. I feel that they should say, okay, listen, let's, here's the, hey, what about you? I don't think you can be on the team. Why not? Well, you're not a biped. You have no legs, so scram.
Okay.
You take your time as long as you want. But get the hell out of here.
No one's going with you on this. Nobody is with you on this at all.
Except the feller at home that's like, that son of a bitch I lost my race to that got no legs.
Are you saying he had an unfair advantage because he had these?
Well, of course. He had rocket ships.
They're not rocket ships.
Okay.
Andy, help me out here.
No, it's still him running.
Yeah.
Oh, yes. Well, guys, I agree with you then. Oscar Pistorius is a scholar and a gentleman.
All right.
He's a murderer.
Really turned it around on us.
Alleged murderer.
Thank you. I'm Norm MacDonald, and now the fake news. Yesterday, Simpson trial Judge Lance Ito allowed that mystery envelope to be opened, and it appears Simpson may already have won $10 million. Haitian General Raoul Cedras, who will be stepping down in 2 weeks, held a hasty garage sale of some knickknacks he'd acquired while in office. Big fans of the Haitian strongman, are you? Another breakthrough in the Middle East. Arab and Israeli negotiators working through the night accidentally resolved the baseball strike. And filmmaker Ken Burns announced that following his baseball series, his next documentary project will be a 12-hour, 8-part history of the dorky haircut. Former First Lady Barbara Bush published her memoirs this month. Readers were shocked by her revelation that while living at the White House, she had sex with former President George Bush. Scientists in Africa have discovered the oldest known human ancestor, born 4.4 million years ago. Although unearthed only days ago, he is already engaged to Anna Nicole Smith. The first deaf Miss America, Heather Whitestone, was crowned last week in Atlantic City. Although completely deaf, she is an expert lip reader. Personally, I don't think she's that pretty, you know. Not my cup of tea. Postal authorities removed a cigarette from a photo of blues artist Robert Johnson to help dignify the musician in a new stamp they've issued in his honor. This isn't the first time the post office has altered a photograph. In fact, the original photo used on the Elvis stamp was based on this photo. King enjoying a hoagie. A recent consumer poll showed that Hershey is America's favorite company, while Philip Morris is America's least favorite. In the middle, the company that makes chocolate cigarettes. Right in the middle, a South African professor claims that the Shroud of Turin was created in the Middle Ages using techniques similar to photography. Backing up his claim is the recent unearthing of a 2,000-year-old Your Face on a Shroud concession booth. Last month, an 80-year-old Albuquerque woman was awarded over $2 million in damages from McDonald's after she spilled some of their coffee in her lap and suffered severe burns. As a result, McDonald's this week has put a warning label on its coffee cups that read, "Caution, do you think you can manage to avoid pouring it directly on your crotch this time, you senile old hag? Think you can manage that, huh?" And the Shawshank Redemption picked up the New York Film Festival's coveted award for the stupidest movie title.
All right, David.
Adam Sandler. Adam Sandler. Gil Graham. I'm sorry, Gil Graham. Looks a bit like Adam Sandler. Take off that wig and the funny shirt, you know. Dead ringer for Sandler. In Washington, a 410-pound convicted killer is fighting his execution on constitutional grounds. He claims that if he is hanged, his head will be completely torn from his body, which would amount to cruel and unusual punishment. Now, having your head completely torn from your body is cruel, I'll grant you, but is it really that unusual? Well, David Hasselhoff is a huge rock star in Germany, where his latest album sold 5 million copies this week, which once again proves my theory: Germans love David Hasselhoff. A truck full of chickens overturned on the Long Island Expressway yesterday. Hundreds of chickens crossed the road, but nobody's been able to figure out why. And that's all for now. Good night and good luck.
NORM MACDONALD.
Hi, I'm Norm MacDonald, and this is the news. Potential jurors for the O.J. Simpson case were asked to fill out a 75-page jury questionnaire this week. In the entire state of California, only one person got a perfect score: Chow Ming Wu, who, after the trial, plans to attend Caltech. O.J. Simpson's new fitness video was released this week, and hitting the shelves next week, Simpson's newest video, Dorf on Stalking. The crowd is torn. Tourism in India has taken a dramatic drop recently. The State Bureau of Tourism has two theories. One, airfares have gone up slightly in the past year, causing a decrease in travel worldwide. And two, the plague. In New York this week, Sammy the Bull Gravano was sentenced to just 5 years in prison for committing 19 murders. You better be careful, though, because New York has just passed a tough new law. 20 strikes and you're out. 4 Pittsburgh children were found in a house strewn with garbage and human waste after they'd been abandoned by their parents for 2 weeks. The couple was charged with child endangerment, but to their credit, they did bring the children a present. A T-shirt that reads, "My parents left me for 2 weeks in a house full of human waste, and all I got was this lousy T-shirt." A comet hit the planet Jupiter last July, and scientists now say the dark scars have almost completely disappeared. But the emotional scars will be there for a long, long time. Ford this week recalled 2 models of cars, saying that they might explode during refueling. At Ford, quality is job 1, and job 2, making your car explode. What's it like to lose $35 million? Just ask Dale Sturdivant of Honesdale, Pennsylvania. That's how much he lost this week at a local convenience store when he failed to guess any of the 6 winning numbers in the state's Pick 6 lottery. When reached for comment by Weekend Update, Sturdivant replied, "Why are you making such a big deal out of this? I bought a $3 lotto ticket, it didn't win. Why can't you leave me alone?" Christy Brinkley told reporters this week that her marriage to Billy Joel was over long before their divorce. The key moment, she said, came when she realized that she was Christy Brinkley and that she was married to Billy Joel. This week, Disney released a new CD featuring a rapping Mickey Mouse. To avoid controversy, the CD will not include the controversial hit single, Cat Killer. And in a related story, this week marked the 5,000th performance of the Broadway musical Cats. It also marked the 5,000th time a guy turned to his wife and said, "What the hell is this?" The Food and Drug Administration announced today that while 1 ounce of Special K with 4 ounces of milk is a good dietary source of protein, 1 ounce of Special K with 5 ounces of milk is deadly poison. 70% of diners polled this week said there should be no smoking in restaurants. And 80% of diners said that restaurants should give away their food for free. Fashion designer Giorgio Armani confessed last week to bribing Italian tax officials. He was sentenced to 6 months of wearing brown shoes with a blue suit. Visitors to New York's Times Square this winter are in for a bit of a surprise. Crazy people will be shooting at them. Well, David Hasselhoff is a huge star in Germany, where his series Baywatch celebrated its 100th straight week as the nation's top TV show, which once again proves my old theory: Germans love David Hasselhoff. And finally, John Wayne Bobbitt is going to be an adult film star. He has been signed to play himself in the John Wayne Bobbitt story. The part of his severed penis will be portrayed by Pauly Shore. And that's all for now. Good night and good luck. Thank you. Thanks. I'm Norm MacDonald. This is the news. The world was stunned this week when Yasser Arafat was awarded the Nobel Peace Prize. Actually, it's not that remarkable when you consider this year's other nominees: Raul Cedras, Mickey Rourke, and the guy who stabbed Monica Seles. Microsoft founder Bill Gates topped Forbes magazine's list of the wealthiest Americans this week, just beating out the #2 finisher, Mr. Monopoly. It was a big week for the old fella, who also placed second in a beauty contest, picking up a cool $10. In a related story, 3 of Hollywood's most powerful men, David Geffen, Steven Spielberg, and Jeffrey Katzenberg, joined forces last week to form their own movie studio. When asked what sort of films we could expect from them, the trio replied, "Mostly pornos." That's good news. All right. This week, Saddam Hussein pulled his troops back from the Kuwaiti border after realizing that a second invasion might hurt his chances for a Nobel Peace Prize. On Wall Street last week, trading was very heavy on the big board. Why? Because it's the big board. What are you, nuts? According to retailers, the most popular Halloween mask this year is O.J. Simpson. And the most popular Halloween greeting is, "I'll kill you and that guy who's bringing over your glasses," or treat. By the way, you can now purchase a bronze statue of the Juice for only $3,395. And for an even $5 grand, you can buy one that Al Cowlings has kissed the ass of. Yoko Ono donated some John Lennon memorabilia to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame this week. The items include his Sgt. Pepper uniform, an electric guitar he used at Shea Stadium, and the original handwritten lyrics to several songs that she ruined. New York City police charged this week that the 90-year-old mother of actor Peter Falk was systematically bilked out of $3 million in cash, jewels, and antiques by a con man. Peter Falk's mother, huh? Robbed? That sounds like a job for Matlock. Ah. According to an obscure 14th century law, British Army Captain James Hewitt could be hanged for having an affair with Princess Diana. The punishment for having sex with Princess Diana is death. The punishment for having sex with Princess Anne is having sex with Princess Anne. Playboy founder Hugh Hefner recently attended his high school reunion. It was wonderful to see all my old friends, he said, but still it's nice to get back home to a house full of beautiful, naked 18-year-old women. Well, David Hasselhoff is a huge star in Germany, where his syndicated series Knight Rider places a consistent second behind Baywatch in the ratings, which once again proves my old theory: Germans love David Hasselhoff. Last week, British entrepreneur Richard Brown launched a new soft drink, Virgin Cola. Apparently, months of research determined that people were turned off by the names Slut Cola and Dr. Whore. People in 14 states have reported getting sick after eating Schwan ice cream. They're not sure which flavor is the problem. They're vanilla, they're chocolate, or they're uncooked pork swirl. And that's all for now. Good night and good luck. Judge Lance Ito this week barred all potential jurors from reading Faye Resnick's controversial new book, Nicole Brown Simpson, Diary of a Life Interrupted. The judge also barred them from reading Faye Resnick's other new book entitled Judge Lance Ito is a Big Fruit. In other book news, Prince Charles released an autobiography in which he states that he never loved Princess Di and that his father pressured him to marry her. The book is entitled, Of Course O.J. Did It. I mean, come on. And the Pope came out with a book this week, which contains a series of essays examining faith and morality in today's secular world and the changing role of the Catholic Church as it approaches the 21st century. The book is entitled, God Himself Told Me That O.J. is Guilty. Queen Elizabeth II visited Russia this week, becoming the first English monarch to set foot in the Soviet Union. The visit, which will last for 2 weeks, is expected to have absolutely no effect on anything whatsoever. To discourage worship of the Dalai Lama, the Chinese government has banned all photos of the exiled Tibetan leader, except for this photo from the 70s. New York City doorman Lenny Ladenhoff nearly fell over from shock when Princess Diana confided to him that she was feeling horny and invited him to drop by her hotel suite Thursday evening. Way to go, Lenny! Las Vegas mogul Steve Wynn has announced plans for a new hotel, 46 stories high, set on a 17-acre island in the middle of a 50-acre artificial lake on the Las Vegas Strip. In a related story, Motel 6 now has shampoo. Helmut Kohl was elected to his fourth term as Germany's chancellor this week. Experts say Mr. Kohl's success was guaranteed after he won the backing of singing sensation David Hasselhoff. Which once again proves my old theory, Germans love David Hasselhoff. The Brazilian teenager suing Michael Jackson for running him over with his van displayed his scars for a photographer this week. Jackson said through a spokesman that the suit was baseless, but he'd like to see more photos. A jury this week awarded $8.9 million to a man who said Tylenol destroyed his liver. Immediately following the decision, Tylenol announced its new advertising campaign. Take Tylenol, and you just might win $8.9 million. Well, a beef-flavored water for dog hit stores this week, and dogs are eagerly anticipating the arrival next month of the newest water flavor, other dogs' asses. And finally, in honor of the 50th anniversary of their first publication, Random House will be releasing special commemorative issues of many Dr. Seuss classics. The first to hit the bookshelves will be Green Eggs and Ham and O.J. is Guilty. And that's all for now. Good night. Thank you. I'm Norm MacDonald, and this is the Fake News. Well, it's been a disastrous week for President Clinton. His party lost control of the House and Senate, and 31 governorships are now in Republican hands. The only bright spot? He was completely exonerated in the murder of Bob Crane. With Republican control of the Senate, Oregon's Bob Packwood will become chairman of the Senate Finance Committee. In a statement, he promised to massage the budget, goose interest rates, and, if possible, stick his tongue down the throat of inflation. And in Connecticut, where I live, a House race was won by a margin of just 2 votes. Well, that's good. My vote still wouldn't have made any difference at all. Young or old, male or female, everyone loves to visit the White House. In an act of conciliation, China released 8 political prisoners this week, but they made it clear that the other 79 million would be executed without a trial. A French man who calls himself the Snake Man was arrested this week after climbing up the side of a Manhattan high-rise. Yep, he climbed right up the side of a high-rise, just like a snake. This week is Taxi Cab Appreciation Week, so to all you taxi cab drivers out there, I'd appreciate it if you'd take a shower once in a while. How's that go? A new hangover-free vodka is on the market. Yeah, the ads claim that the 80-proof vodka is so pure, it's virtually headache-free. But before you run out and buy it, remember, it causes massive anal bleeding. Dr. James Watts, a neurosurgeon who performed the first frontal lobotomy, died this week in Washington. If you recall, a lobotomy involves drilling holes in the skull and then inserting and rotating a knife to destroy brain cells. What a genius. He'll be missed. Well, Tom Cruise got ready for the premiere of his new movie, Interview with the Vampire, by sucking all the blood out of wife Nicole's... Liza Minnelli has gotten word she'll have to have a hip replacement operation. This marks the first time in 15 years that the name Liza Minnelli and the word hip have been used in the same sentence. George Foreman shocked the world this week. How about that, huh? He shocked the world when, after absorbing punishing blows to the head for 10 rounds, he knocked out Michael Moorer to regain the heavyweight crown. After the fight, Foreman said he felt great and that Moorer's punches had had no effect on him whatsoever. He then proceeded to grant a 20-minute interview to the Ring Post. Model Carrie Otis made news this week when she stated that she didn't want Mickey Rourke showing up at her work. Hey, join the club, lady. You think any of us want Mickey Rourke showing up at our work? Former First Lady Nancy Reagan reports that her husband has been relaxing at their ranch, riding horses and chopping wood. Sadly, eyewitnesses report that he was actually riding wood and chopping horses. The cast of Baywatch made a special appearance at Disney World in Florida, where they were mobbed by adoring fans, which proves my new theory. German tourists love David Hasselhoff. A 2-inch hummingbird that waited too long to fly south and ended up stranded in Alaska will be flown via commercial airline to California this week. You know, I have another solution to this. Kill the hummingbird. And our final story. Ted Kennedy says now that he's won re-election, he can finally relax, get off that crazy diet, and really let himself go. And that's all for now. Good night. Thank you. Thank you. Hi, I'm Norm MacDonald, and this is the fake news. Newly elected Governor George Pataki says he wants to bring the death penalty back to New York. First up, Mayor Rudy Giuliani. According to a poll taken last week, if the presidential elections were held tomorrow, the guy in the funny mask would win. Maybe if I said the word properly. The National Highway Traffic Safety Administration is warning people not to overeat on Thanksgiving because it can make you drowsy at the wheel. Well, that's bad news for me, you know, because after Thanksgiving dinner, I usually like to drive around a while till I sober up. Fergie, the Duchess of York, turned down a guest appearance on the hit show Baywatch. Now, my research has uncovered that Fergie is actually British, not German, which, while not proving, certainly does nothing to disprove my time-tested theory: Germans love David Hasselhoff. George Foreman says his upcoming autobiography will be an inspiration to every American who has tried to reach the impossible dream. And in a related story, former heavyweight champion Michael Moorer says that he wants his autobiography to be an inspiration to anyone who's ever been beaten up by an old man. In North Dakota this week, a hunter narrowly escaped death when a pocket knife in his breast pocket deflected a bullet shot by another hunter. Man, you know we have too many weapons in this country when people are getting shot in the knife. Judge Ito was interviewed this week by a local TV station in Los Angeles. Asked by the interviewer if it was appropriate for a supposedly impartial judge to be on TV with his case still pending, Ito said, "Maybe not, but how appropriate is it to kill your ex-wife?" It was revealed today that O.J. Simpson told police that Nicole Brown Simpson used to beat him up. He also claimed that she and Ron Goldman killed him. Talk show host Ricki Lake was arrested for vandalism after demonstrating against fur. She said wearing fur was in bad taste, then returned to her studio to tape a show entitled "Why Whores Get the Clap." Yeah, Ricki Lake, you know, she really is an animal lover, though. She has 3 cats, 2 dogs, and a big ass that follows her around everywhere. Well, there may be trouble in paradise. Lisa Marie Presley confirmed this week that she and Michael Jackson live in separate residences 50 miles away from each other. Lisa Marie was quoted as saying, "I guess being married to a homosexual pedophile wasn't such a great idea after all." Researchers have developed a so-called red wine pill, which gives all the benefits of red wine without the alcohol. Yeah, it's called a grape. In other entertainment news, one of the world's biggest stars just completed a whirlwind 3-week world tour. Tonight, he's agreed to come to Update to tell us about it. Ladies and gentlemen, David Hasselhoff.
Thank you. Thank you very much. My recent world tour was an incredible experience. I went to 21 countries in just 15 days, and I've got some amazing stories to tell. In Japan, for instance, I was invited to the state dinner at the Emperor's Palace. What I didn't know was
whoa, hang on a second. Did you just say Japan?
Yes, I did.
Yeah, well, no offense, but I don't think anybody cares about Japan. Why don't you focus on the countries where you're popular?
Oh. Well, in China, we had an incredible experience. The entire cast of Baywatch was invited to the Great Wall, where the hundreds of thousands of Chinese people were chanting in unison, Baywatch.
Wait, Chinese people?
Yes, of course.
Look, why don't we skip China? In fact, rule out all of Asia.
Okay. Well, what do you want to hear about? I've got some great stories from all over the world.
I was thinking, some place where you're especially popular, like in Europe.
Oh. Well, in Italy...
Northern Europe.
Oh, I got you. Okay, I got you. There's one country that they absolutely love. Norway.
Norway? What are you, crazy? They like everybody in Norway. Nobody gives a damn about Norway. What the hell's wrong with you?
Look, what's going on here? I've never seen you like this.
Well, to tell you the truth, I didn't want to be the one to bring it up, but how about Germany? How do the Germans feel about you?
Well, on this trip, we actually didn't stop in Germany.
I don't care about your stupid trip. Look, just tell me how you would characterize in one sentence the way Germans feel about you.
Well, I've always been fortunate to get a very positive response from the Germans.
Oh, my God. This is no time for false modesty. We're running late. We got to wrap this thing up. Do Germans love you?
Well, love is an awfully strong word.
Oh. Listen, David, let's say a guy had a theory, all right? A theory that he's devoted several years of his life to. And let's say he has a lot of evidence to back up this theory of his. Now, don't you think it would just be common courtesy to help that guy out, and not ruin his life?
Listen, I don't know what you want me to say here, pal.
Oh, my God. Here, I'll write it down. Here, say this.
Germans love me.
Which, once again, proves my theory. Germans love David Hasselhoff. And that's the news. See you next time. Thank you, David.
Auf Wiedersehen. Viel Glück, mein Lieber. Auf Wiedersehen. Auf Wiedersehen.
Update with NORM MACDONALD.
Thank you. Thanks. I'm Norm MacDonald, and this is the fake news. GATT passed in the Senate this week, 76 for GATT, and 24 no idea what the hell GATT is. So that was a close one. U.S. Air is beginning a campaign to restore passenger confidence. I think just two little words will do that. We've landed. Blimpies has started supplying subs for Delta Airlines to serve in its flight, and in return, Delta is giving Blimpies barf bags to hand out in its restaurants. Standing outside a New York City courtroom this week, Paula Jones was berated by passing New Yorkers who called her names such as slut and whore. Observers say the situation grew even worse when the crowd realized who she was. Kenny G has a Christmas album out this year. Hey, happy birthday, Jesus. Hope you like crap. Yippee! Jerry Rubin died last week. Oh, I'm sorry, that should read, Yippee! Jerry Rubin died last week. Sorry about that. I'm sorry. My mistake completely. I didn't read it right. And now it's time for Weekend Update's movie reviews. This week I saw Interview with the Vampire. And here's my review. Not gay enough. Last week, Queen Elizabeth won 10 pounds in her country's national lottery. However, she has no plans to quit her job as Queen of England. Yeah, I knew. You think I didn't know? A Brooklyn man crossing an expressway on Monday was hit by at least 10 cars. According to police, the man's body was spread over a 2-block area. Police also reported that various organs were flattened on the road and that his spine had been ripped out of his torso. The man is currently resting in stable condition at St. Mary's Hospital. The new ad campaign for Duracell batteries is already having a dramatic effect. Over 70% of consumers say they now find the batteries, quote, creepy and disturbing. Fake news. PLO leader Yasser Arafat announced this week that his wife is pregnant. The happy couple said they really don't care if the child is a boy or a girl, just as long as it hates Jews. The California Senate voted 38-0 to name State Route 118 the Ronald Reagan Freeway. The 83-year-old former president joked, "People have tried to drive over me for years. This is the first time I will actually welcome it." And then everybody enjoyed a good laugh, even though they had no idea what the hell he was talking about. Airline travelers' complaints have risen 22% over the last year. The single most common complaint was, "They lost my baggage," followed closely by, "I didn't like being in that fiery plane crash." Well, more bad news for Governor-elect George Pataki. An audit reveals that due to years of lax security, New York's reservoirs are, quote, 90% urine. Well, you got to hand it to Dan Quayle, huh, for finally changing his image. You used to look at him and think, potato spelled with an E. Now you look at him and think, blood clot. The U.S. Postal Service this week canceled plans for a stamp commemorating the bombing of Hiroshima. They will instead release a different stamp. Here it is that hopefully people will find it less offensive, that one. Jeffrey Dahmer's relatives are reportedly fighting over what to do with his body. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Well, some want to have sex with it while the rest want to put it in the fridge. So that's, should have stopped at the premise that time. The cast of America's hottest new show, ER, have landed themselves on the cover of Entertainment Weekly. They're all there, the most popular bunch of actors on TV. There's that guy and the other guy over there's the black guy there and the frizzy-haired lady and there's that blonde doctor girl over there. There they are. America's hottest group of actors. There they are. Well, a study this week reports seafood is good for you unless it's fried. Yet another groundbreaking story from the pages of the medical journal, Duh. A new study shows that a few simple tests may be able to determine which elderly drivers are most likely to have accidents. Sadly, the tests all involve a lot of old people driving cars into trees. Kind of sad. Scientists have created a genetically superior Christmas tree. that will be taller, stronger, and tougher than other trees. One downside, if you don't like your presence, it will kill you. It's a hell of a downside there. And here's a story. Scientists have discovered that rats with spinal cord injuries were able to walk again after being treated with a combination drug therapy. That's good news, huh? Getting all those rats up and around again? A new FBI study shows that for the first time, Americans are more likely to be killed by a stranger than a loved one or acquaintance. Their advice? Introduce yourself to as many people as possible. A one-legged goose with a dart in its head. And I complain about my life, you know? It's tougher for the one-legged goose. Hey, Lisa Marie Presley said that she and Michael are still together and happy this week. She also made a revelation that she is actually a 9-year-old boy.
Yeah.
That it? Whoop! There I am. I thought I was over there. A sheepdog carrying $250,000 worth of cocaine in its stomach was found at JFK Airport earlier this week. A customs agent got suspicious when he saw 2 airline employees taking turns sniffing the dog's ass. And that's all the news. Thanks, folks. See you later. Thank you. I'm Norm MacDonald, and this is the fake news. Secretary of State Warren Christopher this week again offered to quit his job, saying he's sick of being a damn secretary. This week, President Clinton gave Japanese Prime Minister Tomichi Moriyama a basket of Washington State apples. Afterwards, the Asian head of state said, hey, thanks for the apples. I guess I really owe you one now. Here we see the president and the first bitch. Hey, slow down, you bitch. Let me catch up. Hillary Clinton invited Newt Gingrich and his mother to the White House. Apparently, she's hoping they'll get caught in the crossfire. More bad news for Boris Yeltsin this week. In Chechnya, the entire Russian army was defeated by these 3 guys over here. And here is South Korea's annual The Running of the Tanks. The Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms has given approval to a new bullet so brutally destructive that it will tear through your soft tissue, rip apart your vital organs, and then take all your money and live it up with your girlfriend in Aruba. Aruba. A 51-year-old cosmonaut set a world space endurance record this week after spending 367 days aboard the Russian space station Mir. And also, as a side note, he also smashed his own masturbation record. Well, the Grammy Award nominations were announced this week, and it was a lucky day for singer Billy Ray Cyrus. Apparently, he found a $5 bill in a taxi. Oprah Winfrey broke down and cried this week, saying she had once smoked crack cocaine. You know, I don't know what she's crying about. I mean, you know, some people in this world never get to smoke crack cocaine. It's ridiculous. Huh? In Walnut Creek, California, anyone who turns in his gun can get free therapy. And anyone who doesn't turn in his gun can get free anything. Well, let's get to O.J. O.J. Simpson's lawyers say they don't want the families of Nicole Brown and Ronald Goldman in the courtroom during the trial. They're afraid the presence of the family members will just remind O.J. of how much more killing he still has to do. And O.J. announced this week that he's coming out with a new book called I Want to Tell You. And if it's successful, O.J. will work on yet another book entitled From Football to Prison, My 25 Years of Showering with Other Men. And finally, twin daughters have been born to Andrew and Carrie Kennedy Cuomo, making former New York Governor Mario Cuomo a grandfather. The girls were named Pataki and Sucks.
Weekend Update with NORM MACDONALD.
Thank you. Thanks, I'm Norm MacDonald, and this is the fake news. Singer Billy Joel survived the massive earthquake which rocked Japan this week. The quake, which hit the port city of Kobe, killed nearly 5,000 people and demolished hundreds of buildings. To repeat, do not panic. Billy Joel has survived the earthquake. Here we see President Clinton looking for something, anything, to hug besides his wife. In an effort to feel smarter than somebody, Dan Quayle this week spoke to 4,000 Amway employees. Jimmy Carter has written a collection of poetry. It includes his latest poem, entitled Ode to a Country Full of Stupid, Ungrateful Bastards. Here's an amazing story. Twins born 95 days apart. Even more amazing, they were born to different mothers and they don't even look alike. That's hard to believe. Well, the NHL strike officially ended Thursday. After some adjustments to the schedule, the regular season started last night and the playoffs will start tomorrow. A blind man felt Princess Diana's face last week and said she is the prettiest woman I've ever seen. He then picked up a toilet plunger and said, "Thank you for this royal scepter. I shall treasure it always." According to the National Transportation Safety Board, sleepy truckers are responsible for 1,000 deaths a year. In second place, O.J. Simpson at 2 deaths a year. Well, O.J. Simpson's lawyers stopped feuding this week, finally. The Dream Team F. Lee Bailey and Robert Shapiro were able to put aside their differences and express their admiration for each other after O.J. threatened to cut their heads off. The United Paramount Network's new show, Star Trek Voyager, finished in first place Monday night with a 14.7 rating. For those of you who don't know, one rating point is equal to 950,000 nerds. Officials in Disney World have ordered their ride, the Extra Terror Estrial, to be shut down until it can be made scarier. When the attraction reopens in 2 weeks, it will be exactly the same, but missing 6 bolts. This week, a court banned gays from marching in Boston's St. Patrick's Day parade, but they will still allow them to be beaten up by drunken Irish guys. I'm afraid to know what you're applauding at there. Los Angeles Rams owner Georgia Frontier announced this week that her football team is moving to St. Louis. The good news for the Rams is that changing cities, that the ticket sales will increase and more fans will pack the stadium. The bad news for the Rams is they will still suck. Well, the Super Bowl is still a week away, but already the 49ers are leading 31-0. And finally, Amy Fisher charged this week that while in prison, she was raped by a guard. The guard, one Joseph Botafuco, has been reassigned to the prison auto body shop. So apparently that's the one we're ending on. Okay, that's it for now. See you next week.
NORM MACDONALD.
Thank you. Hi, I'm Norm MacDonald, and this is the fake news. Surgeon General nominee Dr. Henry Foster, who claims he performed 39 abortions, is facing charges that he once said he performed 700. When asked if he made the statement, Foster was adamant in his response, saying, "If I told you 39 times, I told you 700 times, the answer is no." Well, the Super Bowl might be over, but the San Francisco 49ers just keep piling it on. They now lead the Chargers 83-40 to 27. So they've comfortably covered the spread. This week, the Disney company used Federal Express to ship an elephant cross-country. Disney said it would have used regular mail, but the last time they tried it, the elephant fell behind a cabinet at the post office and was lost for 3 months. It was revealed this week that defense lawyer Johnny Cochran once abused his first wife. In his defense, Cochran said, "Hey, at least I didn't kill her like some people I know." In his book, O.J. Simpson says that he would have taken a bullet or stood in front of a train for Nicole. Man, I'm going to tell you, that is some bad luck when the one guy who would have died for you kills you. That's probably... You don't get worse luck than that. Tomorrow, Judge Lance Ito will take O.J. and the jury on a tour of the now famous crime scene. For the jury, it will be their first look at the actual location. Of course, for O.J., it will be just a case of been there, done that. And there's a new 24-hour cable channel. It's called the Golf Channel. It shows golf 24 hours a day, except for between 2 a.m. and 3 a.m. when it shows the Byron Allen Show. The game Monopoly turned 60 years old this week. You know, things were so much simpler back then when people traveled around by hat or thimble. Those were the days, yeah. Last week, after more than a month of frigid darkness, jubilant residents of Canada's Arctic set off fireworks, danced, and ate caribou in celebration of their first glimpse of sunlight. And as the sun briefly illuminated the sky, they looked at each other and said, "Hey, what the hell is this we're eating? What is this, caribou? Well, eating a hunk of caribou over here? What the?" Taco Bell this week introduced a new light menu, as well as a new slogan. Half the fat, but still tastes like crap.
Weekend Update with NORM MACDONALD.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Hi, I'm Norm MacDonald, and this is the fake news. It took a Long Island jury 10 hours to convict Colin Ferguson this week. It then took them 13 hours to walk across the street for lunch and 27 hours to eat it. And in football news, man, this is getting ridiculous. The 49ers now beat the Chargers 1,000,655 something to 27. All right. Not good with those long numbers. Judge Lance Ito was happy with the jurors' field trip to the crime scene last week. It went off without a hitch, said Ito. Not one murder. And this week, Simpson defense lawyers questioned witnesses about a half-melted container of ice cream found at the murder site. The Simpson defense has seized upon the ice cream for 2 reasons. 1, it may help fix the time of the murders. And 2, it was the only thing in the murder scene without any of O.J.'s blood on it. O.J.'s pal Al Cowlings now has a 1-900 number. For $2.99 a minute, Cowlings will tell callers that O.J. is innocent. And for $3.99 a minute, he'll try to do it without laughing. This week, President Clinton played golf with ex-presidents Gerald Ford and George Bush. Bush hit an old lady in the face with a golf ball, giving her a broken nose and 10 stitches. But don't be impressed. It took him 5 strokes to do it. A study says that pot use in high school is up sharply. Don't I know it? Oh, yeah. I'm joking. And I don't really sell drugs to children. And now a correction to a story we ran last week. Prince Charles is actually the one in the middle. So we apologize for that. According to a new survey, condom use is way up. Also way up, complicated, clumsy, unsatisfying sex. According to a survey, 58% of men would have sex with a woman they disliked. Although while having sex, they would really, really like them, and then afterwards not like them again. 130 years after the Civil War, the state of Mississippi has finally voted to abolish slavery. Representatives say they would have liked to have done it sooner, but they were delayed due to some awfully big cotton crops. They had some kind of big cotton thing. All right. After 50 years entertaining children, a fed-up Mickey Mouse finally started to eat one this week. And in a touching Valentine's Day gesture, a man gave his wife one of his own kidneys. Terrified, she dropped the kidney and ran out of the restaurant screaming. Roseanne was married on Valentine's Day, and gee, you know, as romantic as that sounds, I find myself far more interested in almost anything else that is going on the face of the planet. And finally, the Oscar nominations were announced this week, and Tom Hanks and Jodie Foster are in a heated competition in the Academy's controversial new category, Best Retard. All right, that's it for now. Thanks, folks. See you next week.
Date with Norm MacDonald.
God, thank you. Thanks. I'm Norm MacDonald, and this is the fake news. Well, there's good news this week from strife-torn Ireland, where a historic peace agreement has just been signed. Gee, I wonder if anyone will celebrate by drinking. Former Interior Secretary James Watt was indicted this week for still having a large light bulb-shaped head. A stock market rally pushed the Dow Jones Industrial Average past the 4,000 mark for the first time ever. I have no idea what that means. Was O.J. Simpson high on speed the night of the murders? Absolutely not, said defense attorney Johnny Cochran today. And a simple test of any of O.J.'s blood found at the crime scene will prove it. And O.J. pal Al Cowling said this week that in looking for the truth in the O.J. Simpson case, he sometimes talks to a picture of Nicole Brown Simpson, something that in the past would have gotten him killed by O.J. If owners use replacement baseball players, hot dog vendors have vowed to go on strike. Boy, those owners are screwed now, huh? They'll never find other guys who can sell hot dogs. I don't think they'll be able to. Dr. William A. Moffat, the world's leading authority on the Dead Sea Scrolls, died this week at age 62. The cause of death? The curse of the Dead Sea Scrolls. This was Colin Ferguson's first week in prison. Ferguson has reportedly dismissed his cellmate, and from now on he will be acting as his own bitch. New medical research shows that men and women have different food cravings. Men preferring meat and women preferring sweets. Scientists trace this back to caveman days, when men had to go out and hunt for food while women sat on their fat asses eating chocolates. Washington Power twosome Mary Madeline and James Carville are expecting their first baby in July. No one knows if the baby will be a Democrat or a Republican, but doctors are sure of one thing: it will be weird looking. The richest girl in the world, billionaire Athena Onassis, celebrated her 10th birthday this week. What's it like to be the richest girl in the world? Well, to give you some idea, at the party, they had 2 cakes. The Mafia announced that they will drop their time-honored greeting of gently kissing each other on the cheek this week. But as for shooting people and stuffing them in the trunks of cars, full steam ahead. An intoxicated man was decapitated by a moving subway train this week after he fell off the platform while trying to show off for a woman he didn't know. The stunt worked. The two will be married in June. And finally, due to a change in policy, Amtrak employees will no longer be able to kick homeless people out of Penn Station based on the way they look. From now on, they will have to go solely on urine stench. Well, that's it. Thanks, folks. See you next week. Thank you. Thanks. I'm Norm MacDonald, and this is the fake news. A Michigan man has been arrested for the murder of a co-worker following their joint appearance on the Jenny Jones show. Jenny Jones says she's very upset over the incident. How upset? Find out on the next Jenny Jones. F. Lee Bailey said this week that if the defense only knew what Ron Goldman's last words were, they might be able to find the real killer. You know, if you ask me, Goldman's last words were probably, hey, you're O.J. Simpson. And Bailey insists he's talked to potential witness Maximo Cordoba. I have not talked to F. Lee Bailey, says Maximo Cordoba. Who's right and who's wrong? Find out on the next Cordoba. Some teenagers are snorting or injecting Ritalin, a drug prescribed to treat attention deficit disorder in children. Drug abuse experts warn that Ritalin can cause accelerated blood pressure, along with enhanced mental alertness, a surge of energy, and an increased sense of self-confidence. And remember, kids, those are bad things. Well, tests got underway this week to see if those new outlawed bullets are really as dangerous as everyone says. According to a controversial new biography, Elizabeth Taylor likes her lovemaking loud, rough, and frequent. Coincidentally, that's also how she likes to eat. Oh no, OJ has struck again. How about that? Not a good thing. A recent study shows the number of sexually active teenagers is leveling off at 53%, and another study shows the number of teenagers who tell their friends that they are sexually active is holding steady at 100%. Here we see LaToya Jackson wowing the crowds in St. Petersburg, Russia. Of course, in Russia, wowing means to disappoint or disgust. Well, newlyweds Tommy Lee and Pamela Anderson had their first argument this week. He wants kids, while she wants fake kids. And finally, well, it's official. There you go. Michael Jordan is leaving baseball to return to basketball. It is unclear whether the media will now refer to him by his old basketball nickname, Air Jordan, or his more recent baseball nickname, Senior Crappy. And that's it. Thanks, folks. See you next week. Thank you. Hi, I'm Norm MacDonald, and this is the news. Last week, as Pat Buchanan announced his decision to run for president, several people jumped on stage chanting, "Buchanan is a racist." As security began to wrestle them from the stage, Buchanan stopped them and said, "Let them continue. That's my slogan." Republican presidential candidate Phil Gramm of Texas said yesterday that if he and President Clinton met in the general election next year, he would, quote, chew him up and spit him out. President Clinton, on the other hand, says he would take Gramm, deep fry him, dip him in mayonnaise, and swallow him whole. Well, the nerve gas sarin, which was used in the Tokyo subway attack, is a colorless, odorless substance that swiftly paralyzes the respiratory system, fills the lungs with fluid, and drowns its victims. But it's still better than anything on the Warner Brothers network. Senator Bob Packwood said this week he favors reduced federal deficit over a tax cut. Then he added that in case anyone was curious, he prefers nice legs over large breasts. Well, how about this, huh? You know, it makes me sick when a society lets a guy like Colin Ferguson live for another 200 years. It's ridiculous. It's crazy. A new study says that people who quit smoking have healthier lungs. Yet another groundbreaking story from the pages of the medical journal, Duh. Hertz rental car company announced this week that it will buy 520,000 vehicles, increasing its worldwide fleet 24%. In addition, they will try to find a new spokesman who won't kill his ex-wife. And in court this week, Cato Kalin testified that O.J. Simpson did not appear angry before or after the period of his wife's murder. But Kalin admitted he could have been a touch edgy while he was actually murdering her. Might have been a... Leona Helmsley fired a maid this week for stealing her Victoria's Secret lingerie. And you think she looks hot here, huh? Imagine, if you would, with the... And finally, the Diamond Council of America advises that men spend 2 months' salary on an engagement ring, while the American Housing Company suggests that you spend 25% of your salary on rent. Interestingly, the U.S. Crack Association recommends that you spend all your salary on crack. And that's it for now. Good night, folks.
NORM MACDONALD.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm Norm MacDonald, and this is the news. This week in South Africa, Winnie Mandela was removed from the new government by her husband, President Nelson Mandela. A curious Bill Clinton later called Mr. Mandela to find out how exactly you go about doing something like that. In medical news this week, scientists report there may soon be a vaccine for drug addicts, which completely eliminates the craving for cocaine. They caution, however, that the vaccine is extremely dangerous, highly addictive, and costs $10,000 a gram. This is the only known photograph of terrorist Tahir Ayyash, Palestine's top bomb maker. To reassure you that there's little cause for alarm, however, you should know that this picture was taken by Palestine's top photographer. This week at the O.J. Simpson trial, the infamous bloody glove was finally introduced into evidence, and O.J. didn't help his case any by blurting out, "There it is, I've been looking all over for that thing." That's I was wondering. And a new shocker in the O.J. Simpson trial. This afternoon, Judge Lance Ito dismissed yet another juror, a 45-year-old African-American male, for failing to tell the court that he had once worked for Hertz Rent-A-Car and that he had once held Nicole Brown Simpson's glasses while O.J. killed her. Well, Monica Seles said this week she doesn't like to watch women's tennis anymore. Hey, join the club, lady, all right? In a bid to boost low attendance, officials at the New Jersey State Aquarium have announced plans for a $4 million facelift. In addition, flashing neon signs will be placed outside the aquarium, stating that the fish are, quote, all nude all the time. Well, on a talk show recently, Joey Buttafuoco said of Amy Fisher, "I hope she gets hers and dies in prison like Jeffrey Dahmer. And when she does, I will go out and eat cake." Moments later, however, he admitted, "Look, I'll be honest with you, even if nothing bad happens to Amy Fisher, I'll probably go out and eat cake." Last week, Duchess of York Sarah Ferguson visited the Big Apple and showed off her 14-pound weight loss. Hopefully, this will not interfere with her official duties of sitting on her fat ass all day long. Julia Roberts told reporters this week that her marriage to Lyle Lovett has been over for some time. The key moment, she said, came when she realized that she was Julia Roberts and that she was married to Lyle Lovett. The gold-plated typewriter of Ian Fleming, author of the James Bond series, will be auctioned off May 5th. Though in perfect condition, it does have one small problem. When you hit the carriage return, it fires a fishing spear through your head. So that's... Well, singer Willie Nelson, who was arrested recently in Texas for marijuana possession, saw the charges against him drop this week. A judge ruled the arrest had been illegal because police didn't have probable cause to search his car for pot. How about the fact he's Willie Nelson? This week, in New Jersey, Patty, a 4-month-old pit bull who had been beaten senseless by his owner, was given a new home. While his former owner serves 2 weeks in jail for the beating, veterinarians say that it will take 4 to 6 weeks until Patty is fully recovered and ready to eat babies again. Well, the magazine POV came out this week with a list of the best and worst jobs to have in the next century. Their 3 best were, in this order, multimedia software designer, management consultant, and interactive advertising executive. While their worst, for the 3rd year in a row, crack whore.
McDonald.
Thanks, I'm Norman. Thank you. Thank you. Hi, I'm Norm MacDonald, and this is the news. Well, troubles continue for New York Senator Alphonse D'Amato. A week after offending many Japanese Americans with his impression of Judge Lance Ito, the senator entered a New York hospital complaining of mild chest pains this week. Attending physician, Dr. Hikuru Akosaki, examined the senator and found nothing serious, then performed a 6-hour rectal exam just to be sure. A bad week for the prosecution of the O.J. Simpson trial. Under intense cross-examination by defense lawyer Barry Scheck, LAPD crime expert Dennis Fung admitted that he may have contaminated the crime scene when he accidentally dropped a big bucket full of O.J.'s DNA. Dismissed Simpson juror Jeanette Harris revealed in interviews this week that the jury is torn by dissension and is already divided into two camps: those who think he is guilty and those who are really, really stupid. Israeli security forces have rounded up over 150 suspects in last week's suicide bombings. Suspects in the suicide bombings. Now, well, here's a hint. Look for the dead guys, and probably on the right track. A Cambridge, Massachusetts juror found City Councilman William Walsh not guilty of malicious destruction of property after he removed 2 dildos from a sculpture in the City Hall annex. Walsh's defense was that he was walking by, saw them, and said to himself, "Hey, free dildos." Look at there. Scientists in Japan have invented underwear for men with a special scent that they claim is irresistible to women. Let me tell you something. If you've got a woman's nose in your crotch, you don't need special underwear. I'll tell you that. Actor Arnold Schwarzenegger is vehemently denying accusations that he is the father of a 12-year-old girl living in Texas. You know, it's hard to believe, Arnold, especially considering that this is a picture of the girl. Well, Premiere Magazine's list of the 100 most powerful people in Hollywood hit the newsstands this month. In an odd bit of ranking, Demi Moore was ranked number 28, while her breasts were ranked 20 and 21. So the most restrictive smoking ban in the nation took effect this week in New York, and already the city has gained over 9,000 pounds. At a press conference this week, Washington Mayor Marion Barry said he wants private businesses to provide 5,000 summer jobs for a district youth program. He also wants some crack. Gosh, Hillary looks pretty in this photo here, doesn't she? Never realized she was such a looker till I see her here in this picture. At Virginia Commonwealth University, a professor is being sued following revelations that he spanked one of his students. It was the student's parents who first became suspicious when they asked, "What kind of marks are you getting?" And she replied, "Big red ones on my ass." So that's all for now. Good night. Thank you. Thanks. Hi, I'm Norm MacDonald, and this is the news. Our top story tonight, this week in the O.J. Simpson trial. After grisly photos of the murdered Nicole Brown Simpson were shown in court, O.J. turned his head away and wept. It was at that moment that he realized he would never be able to kill her again. 3 weeks ago, the FBI released this sketch of the Oklahoma bombing suspect known as John Doe No. 2. And this week, they had new information. They were able to revise the sketch. "Now we've got him for sure," said one FBI spokesman, "just as long as he doesn't take off that hat." Washington, D.C. Mayor Marion Barry is currently enjoying a 10-day trip to Africa. He says he loves everything about the continent, but he really misses crack. For the 5th year in a row, People magazine has named John F. Kennedy Jr. one of its 50 most beautiful people. Meanwhile, Meanwhile, Big Red Nose magazine has named Ted Kennedy one of its 50 faces most ravaged by drink. Well, in Buffalo, Wyoming, a truck jackknifed this week, spilling hundreds of sticks of dynamite on the I-90 interstate, though officials noted that there is absolutely no danger as long as you're protected by magic. Yeah, I wish I was protected by magic. All right. Actor Charlie Sheen is reportedly engaged to model Donna Peel. Friends of Sheen say they knew Sheen was serious when he took Donna home to meet the hookers. In stock market news this week, April's three biggest losers were Cantab Pharmaceuticals, Champion Enterprises, and Crapco, which manufactures crap. And also crap-related items, most recently Mariah Carey's Christmas album. And also in music news, the Black Crowes have announced that they will donate profits from a recent concert to victims of the Oklahoma City's bombing. Then the band will smoke a huge amount of pot. Well, New Yorkers were asked in a recent survey what they thought of the new slicked-back hairdo Princess Di displayed on a recent trip to the city. 38% of New Yorkers approved, 45% disapproved, and 17% said, "You stopped me for this? Now I'm going to shoot you." Due to expected cutbacks in funding for PBS's The Frugal Gourmet, has announced that he'll be changing his name to The Cheap Bastard. Norm MacDonald, and this is the news. It is now believed that in the months before the Oklahoma bombing, suspect Timothy McVeigh may have sold drugs. Boy, is he in trouble now, huh, with that. A deadly outbreak of the Ebola virus is said to be responsible for more than 100 deaths in Africa and a couple of really bad movies here in the United States. Well, in a questionable move by the defense team this week, O.J. Simpson demonstrated how to stab two people at the same time. A Labor Department study shows that the number of temporary workers rose to 2 million in 1994. And that study doesn't even include the most temporary of the temporarily unemployed, Cato Kalin. Well, Gary Busey left the hospital this week after overdosing on cocaine last Friday. Doctors say Busey is okay and he should be back in the hospital in no time. Well, crime is down nearly 20% in New York City, with only 384 murders so far this year. Only 384? You know, if you ask me, that's still 307 too many. That's right. The Walt Disney Company has announced plans to build a $300 million hotel and entertainment complex in New York's Times Square. Construction begins next spring on their first attraction, Crack Horrors of the Caribbean. The American Academy of Pediatrics has released an updated list of unsafe baby products. Topping the list this year is the really, 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 really high chair. Well, last Friday in Washington, D.C., the city's elementary school students pledged to stay drug-free as a gift to their moms on Mother's Day. Meanwhile, D.C. Mayor Marion Barry got his mom a great big box of chocolates.
With Norm MacDonald.
Thanks. I'm Norm MacDonald, and I'll be there for you. Well, the trial of the century is over. Late yesterday, the fate of O.J. Simpson, the most famous murder suspect in United States history, was placed in the hands of the jurors. They must now decide whether to free him or get all their heads cut off. Testimony during the final week provided some spellbinding moments. In a brilliant move during closing arguments, Simpson attorney Johnny Cochran put on the knit cap prosecutors say O.J. wore the night he committed the murders. Although O.J. may have hurt his case when he suddenly blurted out, "Hey, easy with that. That's my lucky stabbing hat." In the course of his summation, Cochran also brought up Detective Mark Furman, calling him a, quote, genocidal racist, and comparing him to Adolf Hitler. Furman later responded, "After all the things he said about me during this trial, it's a little late to start sucking up now." Meanwhile, Furman, who was expected to face disciplinary action by the LAPD, may get off lightly. Under the terms of a controversial plea bargain, the charges against him have been reduced to, quote, 1 count of using the word darky. Well, the much talked about film Showgirls opened this week, and here's my review. Basically a high-budget porno film, Showgirls is a thinly veiled excuse to show lots of naked buttocks, legs, and breasts. On a scale of 1 to 10, I give it a 10. Texas millionaire J. Howard Marshall may have died 2 months ago, but as we see here, he and wife Anna Nicole Smith can still enjoy a romantic evening at home. In Tennessee, police have arrested 2 teens with a computer for attempting to hook into a phone line at Republican state headquarters. The teens say they wanted free internet time, as well as information on how to keep down the underclass. And in California, a new restaurant has opened exclusively for dogs. Their specialty? A fried chicken dinner, said to be scrotum-licking good. Former Wilson Phillips member Carney Wilson's new talk show kicked off this month. According to Carney, her show will be different from the others in that guests will be treated with respect and dignity. And then she will eat them. Remember 12 Angry Men, the classic courtroom drama? Well, the first film about the O.J. Simpson case is in the works. It's entitled 9 Angry Black People, 2 Scared Asians, and a White Guy Who Hasn't Spoken Since Rosa Lopez. In Carlsbad, Texas, a tanker truck crashed into a prison bus, injuring 16 inmates. Doctors say it will be at least 2 weeks before the men are up and around and raping each other again. America's best-known atheist, Madalyn Murray O'Hair, is missing and hasn't been seen for weeks. Her family is asking everyone to not pray. And in music news, #1 on the college charts this summer was Better Than Ezra. And at #2, Ezra. Meanwhile, Elton John continues to deny rumors that he is engaged to his tennis racket. Finally, folks, next week, Jews everywhere will be celebrating the holiday of Yom Kippur, or as non-Jews refer to it, Wednesday. And that's all for now, folks. Good night.
Weekend Update with Norm MacDonald.
Thanks, I'm Norm MacDonald, and now the fake news. Well, it is finally official. Murder is legal in the state of California. Two hours after the verdict, LA police had their first solid lead in the hunt for the real killers. A new witness has come forward who saw three men fleeing the crime scene the night of the murders. Police have released this sketch and would like to hear from anyone who has seen these three individuals. On Tuesday at 1:15, the moment the Simpson verdict was delivered, Court TV scored its highest ratings ever. An hour later, the channel went out of business. Well, that covers the main developments in the O.J. Simpson case this week. And after all, other important things are going on in the world. Now more O.J. Simpson. When Simpson trial juror Gina Rodborough returned home this week, her little girls were delighted to have her back. And no wonder. She lets him get away with murder. Meanwhile, in Washington, Mayor Marion Barry praised the verdict as, quote, wise and just. And he called upon people of all races to please get him some crack. The first Miss America, Margaret Gorman Cahill, died this week at the age of 90. A call-in vote will determine whether she'll be buried in a bathing suit or evening gown. Sorry about that. And with the Pope in New York City, some of the New York City's greediest and most heartless con men are getting rich selling fake tickets to the Mass in Central Park. Don't I know it? Look at all... Look here. Look at all this. A brother and sister in Florida carried on a sexual relationship for nearly 20 years, and now a judge must decide what to do with the 8 children that their incestuous union produced. Hey, how about keeping them the hell away from each other? How about that? Is that something else? Here is the answer to last week's Update News quiz. The world's sexiest man is the one on the right. That's the one on the right. So nobody won, so the jackpot is now up to $500. Well, the long-running TV series The Love Boat is being made into a big-screen feature by New Line Cinema. The producers have announced that the entire original cast of Gavin MacLeod, Bernie Capel, Fred Grandy, Ted Lange, Lauren Tweez, and Jill Whalen will have to pay $7.50 to see the movie just like everybody else. In Oklahoma, sheriff's deputies are using police dogs to sniff for bodies buried on an 80-acre farm. The dogs have sniffed the ground for 3 days, but so far all they've dug up is another dog's ass. To mark its 75th anniversary, General Mills will abandon its traditional image of Betty Crocker and unveil a new multi-ethnic Betty Crocker, whose likeness will combine the features of 75 different kinds of women. Here she is. This week, supermodel Claudia Schiffer broke up with magician David Copperfield. Later, a devastated Copperfield wandered out onto the street and was hit by a bus. This, according to the current issue of Things I Wish Really Happened. According to a recent survey, the best tasting water in New York State comes from South Huntington on Long Island. And the worst tasting water comes from from Lou Reed's bong. And finally, physicist Stephen Hawking, who is wheelchair-bound and speaks through a computer voice box, was married earlier this month for a second time. You guys out there who can't get a date, start feeling sorry for yourselves now. That's all for now, folks. Good night. Thanks a lot. Enjoy.
NORM MACDONALD.
Thank you. Thanks. I'm Norm MacDonald, and now the fake news. Our top story tonight. Following his shocking acquittal 2 weeks ago, O.J. Simpson vowed never to rest until the real killers of Nicole Brown Simpson are brought to justice. And the manhunt continues. Meanwhile, this week, O.J. took girlfriend Paula Barbieri to see the erotic murder mystery Jade. Other moviegoers took the couple's presence in stride, though they did become uncomfortable when O.J. repeatedly shouted out, "You call that a stabbing? Nation of Islam leader Louis Farrakhan has accused the National Park System of racism, claiming the agency deliberately undercounted the number of participants at his Million Man March. A spokesman for the Park Service denies the charge, saying, quote, "Our estimate is based on state-of-the-art aerial photography. We stand by our number. Heil Hitler." Meanwhile, Washington, D.C. Mayor Marion Barry attended the march and called it a beautiful display of unity and solidarity among African Americans. His only complaint, the complete absence of crack. The Menendez brothers are back in court. They now claim that they shotgunned their mother and father over 20 times because they feared their parents possessed supernatural powers. Though they now admit, looking back on it, they were probably wrong. An 83-year-old Wisconsin woman who survived in her broken-down car for 8 days on just fruit juice and frost was rescued last week by family and friends, and they gave her a big welcome-home dinner. But in an ironic twist, they unknowingly served up as the main course fruit juice and frost. Polygram Records has acquired half of Entertainment Tonight host John Tesh's music label, paying Tesh $8 million for the right to distribute his new age music worldwide. If I ever decide to kill myself, that will be the last line of my suicide note. Last Tuesday in Mexico's election for the regional assembly, leftist opposition party thugs burned ballot boxes, detained election officials, and threatened voters with violence. Mexican authorities are calling it their most successful election ever. President Clinton was in Austin, Texas last Monday, the day of the Million Man March. The president said in a speech, "I am here to speak to you today because right now in Washington, D.C., there's like 1 million black guys." Less than 2 years after that horrific bus accident which nearly left her crippled, singer Gloria Estefan has been involved in a fatal boating accident in which a surfer was killed. Memo to self, cancel hang gliding with Gloria Estefan. Let me just cancel that out there. So I'll cancel. A Labor Department task force says it will crack down on sweatshops in New York's Chinatown, where employees work 90-hour weeks for as little as 75 cents an hour. A spokesman for the sweatshop owner said, quote, "That's all we can afford to pay. This is a sweatshop. We make sweat." In Arkansas, a 25-year-old man has been arrested for going door to door, attempting to trade sticks of dynamite for sex or drugs. This disturbing case has people all across the nation asking themselves the same question. Why didn't I think of that? Angry over the Atlanta Braves and Cleveland Indians' use of Indian caricatures as logos, Native Americans showed up at the World Series tonight. They chanted for hours to protest Indian stereotypes, though it didn't help their cause any when it started to rain. And finally this week, Jeanne Calment of France turned 120 years, 238 days old, making her the oldest person who has ever lived. And though she can no longer shop for herself, see friends, or even get out of bed, she still has enough strength to say, "Oh God, I want to die." And that's all for now, folks. Thanks. Good night. Thank you. I'm Norm MacDonald, and now the fake news. Our top story tonight. After initially vowing never to rest until his wife's killers are brought to justice, O.J. Simpson this week changed his pledge slightly. He now vows to have sex with hot-looking models. Simpson had been discussing marriage with girlfriend Paula Barbieri, but reportedly she has called the wedding off. Her fear was that if they married, she would be brutally murdered. And then someone would try to pin it on O.J. The actor who appeared in commercials for many years as the Marlboro Man has died of lung cancer. Asked if he contracted the disease by smoking, a spokesperson for the tobacco industry responded by saying, "What's that behind you?" then ran away. At the University of Massachusetts last week, a team of biologists created a mouse with a gigantic human ear sticking out its back. Afterwards, the triumphant scientists looked at each other and said, "What the hell did we just do? What kind of a crazy notion was that? It's some kind of a mouse with an ear sticking out of it." After 15-year-old Peggy Young of Irwin, Tennessee was caught skipping school, authorities sentenced her mother to 3 days in jail. So to all you kids out there, remember, party at Peggy's house. Talk show host Ricki Lake has announced that she will finally publicly apologize for her role in a destructive anti-fur demonstration. Then she will eat a huge can of frosting. HBO has finished casting its new movie about the talk show wars entitled The Late Shift. Tapped to play Jay Leno is Daniel Roebuck. The part of David Letterman will be played by Michael Higgins. And the part of Arsenio Hall will be played by Arsenio Hall. Cowboy legends Roy Roger and Dale Evans launched an internet site on the World Wide Web yesterday so hackers can learn more about the Western duo. The most asked question so far, "Hey, aren't you guys dead?" In baseball news, Yankee captain Don Mattingly may be headed for Japan. Sources say that he's excited about the chance to play overseas, particularly in a league where he would have the biggest hog. In an interview out this week, Demi Moore says she would like to have another baby, this time a boy. to go along with her 3 daughters and 2 huge breasts. In the mating ritual of bees, the female follows in the mating ritual of bees, the male follows the female around, biting, slapping, and screeching until she lets him have his way with her. Nearly every time a male orangutan encounters a female, he rapes her. Among sea otters, males often grab a female's snout with their teeth or claws and drown her while attempting to mate. These stories and much more in the new book, I'm Not So Bad, by former Senator Bob Packwood. A new airport planned for San Diego would actually be located 3 miles out in the Pacific Ocean, built on 40 by 20-foot floating cylinders. It's all part of a plan by city officials to have a huge disaster. Thank you. Thanks, I'm Norm MacDonald, and now the fake news, our top story tonight. Following Colin Powell's departure from the presidential race on Wednesday, Senator Phil Gramm said the Republican nomination is now a 2-man race between himself and Bob Dole. Lamar Alexander said it is now a 2-man race between himself and Bob Dole, and Senator Arlen Specter said, "Who the hell am I kidding? I don't have a chance in hell." Should Congress fail to raise the debt ceiling, this Wednesday, November the 15th, at 12:01 a.m., the U.S. will officially default on $4.9 trillion in debts to foreign governments. If that happens, the Treasury Department has issued this statement to all Americans: whatever you do, don't answer the phone. No matter how hard he tries not to, House Speaker Newt Gingrich just continues to scare the bejesus out of little kids. Dr. Jack Kevorkian was responsible for another death this week, this time a 58-year-old woman. She is the 26th of Kevorkian's patients to die since 1990. When are people going to realize he is not a good doctor? Do not go to this man. He's incompetent. He's terrible. The LA District Attorney's Office has given Marcia Clark and Christopher Darden bonuses of over $10,000 for, quote, lengthy hard time duty, unquote, in the O.J. Simpson case. A spokesman for the DA said that the prosecutor's bonuses would have been even higher, except for the fact that they let a killer go free. In economic news, the Mexican peso yesterday sank to an all-time low as it showed up drunk to a family reunion and hit on its cousin, the centavo. In a recent interview, Christy Brinkley suggested that football players should have special gloves connected to lights on their helmets. That way, when they catch the ball, you'll know who has possession. Read these and other interesting ideas in Christie's new book, I'm an Idiot. A study on weight loss revealed this week that women who participate in a weekly diet program lost 50% more weight, snacked less, and bought more fruits and vegetables than women in general, which just goes to prove my new theory: Richard Simmons is gay. Well, next year's Monkees reunion tour will be the first to include all 4 original band members. That's because Michael Nesmith, who had not joined previous tours, has decided to come along. Nesmith, of course, is best known as the last original Monkee to run out of money. According to a new study from Yale University, in order to duplicate the physique of a Barbie doll, the average woman would have to grow to 7 feet, add 5 inches to her bust, and trim 6 inches from her waist. So ladies, you have your mission, now get to it. In Nashua, New Hampshire this week, a high school student, Chris Connolly, while attempting to dunk a basketball, lost his balance, crashed down on the rim, and shattered 2 front teeth. Gee, I wonder if by some crazy chance Chris is white. Researchers at Rockefeller University have learned an interesting new fact about the internal clock located inside the brain of fruit flies. It is very, very, very tiny. Former Playboy centerfold and Guess Jeans model Anna Nicole Smith collapsed this week after she suddenly realized that she actually had sex with this guy. I think they were a couple of flaming supernovas. Well, finally in the news, what is America's most honest city? To find out, a team of sociologists left 10 wallets filled with cash on the street in various urban centers. In Atlanta, 7 of the wallets were returned. In Seattle, 9 of the wallets were returned. But not surprisingly, in New York City, only 1 of the wallets was returned. Empty and shoved up some dead guy's ass. Thank you. Hi, I'm Norm MacDonald, and now the fake news. Our top story tonight. According to a report out this week, O.J. Simpson is still extremely angry that Robert Shapiro began writing a book while he was defending the football legend. However, Simpson is extremely pleased that he got away with killing his wife and that waiter. This week, the New York City Taxi Commission named the 10 worst cab drivers in New York City. Mohammed Zaman, Akbed Alab, Yasser Abdul, Ali Rakima, Malik Gasagi, Himyar Lakimids, Sarbit Karim, Jazi Hassan, Zakadan Nosagi, Thamud Abdul Nasir. And the second worst offender is Abdul Ahmed Zakalili Bani Savaligi Bagigi Hamganga Skolig Logli. 2 23-year-old women in China this week have set a record, living 12 days in a room with 888 deadly snakes. They now hold a place, a coveted place, in the Guinness Book of World Retard. A female prostitute who was mistaken for a man spent 15 hours in the men's jail in Denver, where she had consensual sex with 2 male prisoners, making that the first time anyone at any time in any prison ever has ever had consensual sex. Michael Gold, an unemployed drifter, has been stalking model Naomi Campbell now for 2 years. He has been screaming obscenities, spitting, throwing garbage, and threatening to kill her. Well, after 2 long years, Naomi finally gave in. The couple will be married in June. In publishing news, Magic Johnson has received a $5 million advance from Random House for his new book entitled What You Can Do to Avoid AIDS. Chapter 1, Don't Have Sex with Me. Actor Luke Perry says that his departure from the cast of Beverly Hills 90210 this week had nothing to do with artistic or personal conflicts. It's just that he's 50. In New Orleans, Antoinette Frank, an ex-police officer on death row for triple murder, said she knows nothing about skeletal remains that were found under her former home. But then, after thinking about it, she said, "Oh, that guy, yeah. He's the guy I killed and put under the house." Yeah, just slipped my mind. That's the... Sure, I remember that, yeah. Yeah, killed him, and then I put him under the house. Yeah, now I remember. Kentucky Fried Chicken has announced its second annual Salute to Mother's Day greeting card contest. You all remember last year's winner, To Mom. Roses are red, violets are blue. Eat lots and lots of fried chicken. Hoping to impress a girl, Kevin Hall, 18 years old, stuck a sawed-off shotgun in his pants and blasted off his genitals. You know, I don't know the girl, but I'm guessing that the stunt didn't work. I've learned that the hard way. Well, if I can be allowed a personal opinion, you know, I think Harrison Ford's new mustache works. And by works, I mean looks really gay. In what is considered a remarkably short period of time, the head of the Federal Advisory Board, Dr. Peter Mellman, has given speedy approval to a controversial new anti-obesity drug. It should be noted, however, Dr. Mellman's wife is a fat pig. Washington, D.C. Mayor Marion Barry has prostate cancer, but the disease was detected early, and he expects a full recovery. Doctors say in no time, Barry will be up and around and smoking crack again. Woody Allen is to be the subject of a documentary film which will follow his jazz band on its 1996 tour. According to its producers, the documentary will focus strictly on the parts of Allen's life that no one could give a rat's ass about. A new book claims that Madonna once smeared peanut butter all over John F. Kennedy Jr.'s body and then licked it off, which just goes to show you Madonna's a whore. I'm Norm MacDonald, and now the fake news. Our top story tonight, 20,000 American troops are on their way to Bosnia, but President Clinton has vowed, quote, "This will not be another Vietnam." Adding, "For one thing, I won't be in England leading peace demonstrations and cheering on the enemies of our country." In an attempt to reassure critics of the president's Bosnian policy, White House press spokesman Mike McCurry stressed that the administration does not intend that America be the world's policeman. He did acknowledge, however, that the Marines had just pulled over the country of Brazil for speeding. Like Johnny Carson there for a second. Beatle fans who play their new song, Free as a Bird, backwards will find a secret message by John Lennon. The message, "This song sucks." Former British cavalry officer James Hewitt, who was Lady Diana's secret lover, says he will never, ever disclose the contents of more than 100 love letters that she sent to him. This, according to Hewitt's new book, I Banged a Princess. After years of research, a team of biologists has succeeded in altering the genetic structure of mice to create a new breed of larger, hairier, more violently aggressive mice. They call their new creation the rat. Federal officials have ordered trash burning plants to install safety guards after a worker in Maine was crushed to death this week when a conveyor caught his broom. Also, big signs will be placed on the compactors which say, if your broom gets stuck in the conveyor belt and you are about to be crushed, let go of the broom. In the current climate of gun violence, the NBA's Washington Bullets have decided to change the name of their franchise. When several D.C. politicians were asked for their suggestions, President Bill Clinton said the Presidents would be a good name. Senator Bob Dole said the Senators. And Mayor Marion Barry said, I'll be with you in a minute right after I smoke some crack. Confident that he is no threat to society, doctors at Prince William Psychiatric Hospital in Virginia have released William Mojeski 6 months after he scaled the White House fence to shoot the president. Mr. Mojeski's future plans include scaling the White House fence and shooting the president. In Niagara Falls, Arthur Curley has been charged with trying to make his girlfriend swallow a small brass bear, then urinating on her and setting fire to the oxygen tube that she uses to treat her emphysema. Read all about this kind of relationship in the new book, Men Who Make Their Girlfriends Swallow Brass Bears, Urinate on Them, and Set Fire to Their Oxygen Tubes, and the Women Who Love Them. A down-and-out O.J. Simpson, depressed that all of his money-making ideas have failed, has decided to go back to doing what he does best, killing people. At the Davis County Jail in Utah, a judge has ordered that 17-year-old Wes Howard be placed in the general prison population after he complained of being unfairly segregated from the adult inmates. The judge came to this decision over the strenuous objection of Wes Howard's ass. In a special ceremony sponsored by Publishers Clearinghouse, 16-year-old Amber Kambangan has been awarded $10,000 for her tireless work to feed the homeless. Although the young girl said that she would trade it all in a second if only she could get a shiny new Lexus instead. And finally, this Christmas, Santa Claus will be starting a new look at up-to-date shopping malls around the country. They will now feature black Santas, Asian Santas, Hispanic Santas, and even Middle Eastern Santas. It is all part of a program to make little children cry. And that's it.
Donald.
Thank you very much. Thanks. I'm Norm MacDonald, and now the fake news. Our top story tonight, charged by critics with failure to prepare an exit strategy for Bosnia, a defiant President Clinton today insisted that he has one ready. Should the situation deteriorate, he will have all 20,000 troops airlifted to England and smoking pot within 24 hours. Last week, the president vetoed a Republican bill to balance the budget, and he used a pen that belonged to former President Lyndon Johnson. Clinton has also been working his way through John F. Kennedy's vast supply of condoms. In New York this week, while rehearsing for his upcoming HBO special, pop star Michael Jackson collapsed on stage and was rushed to Beth Israel Hospital. Weekend Update has obtained this exclusive photo. While in the hospital, Michael Jackson had his room specially decorated with 2 huge photos of Shirley Temple. But don't get the wrong idea here. Michael Jackson is a homosexual pedophile. He is... In business news, Chrysler has alleged that former Chairman Lee Iacocca gave away classified documents to other corporations. According to a spokesman, Chrysler is deeply concerned that other manufacturers have learned the secrets of building really crappy cars. Dr. Jack Kevorkian and 7 associates have unveiled new guidelines for doctors in planning physician-assisted suicide. Rule number 1, get paid in advance. In a surprise move, O.J. Simpson has offered to give an interview to CNN with, quote, absolutely no ground rules. But interviewers Greta Van Susteren and Roger Cossack have asked for one. Don't kill us. New York Governor George Pataki this week announced a plan to cut state scholarship aid to college students who do not maintain at least a C average. Sadly, the students hurt most by these cuts will be the idiots. Across the Great Plains, harsh weather and hungry boll weevils are the cause of one of the worst cotton harvests in years. Or so the Germans would have us believe. Native Americans in upstate New York are trying to Native Americans in upstate New York are trying to block plans to build a Kmart on the site of a Mohican burial ground. In addition, they were upset to learn that sales at this particular Kmart will be announced, "Attention Kmart savages." Doctors at the University of Pennsylvania Hospital are hard at work developing a new operation to remove an appendix without anesthesia. The operation is exactly the same as the one with anesthesia, with one key difference. It hurts like a bastard. The New York Public Interest Research Group has unveiled its 10th annual list of dangerous toys for the upcoming Christmas season. Topping the list this year, baby's first circular saw. This week in Minneapolis, the Minnesota Obesity Center officially opened. Its goals? To find ways to identify behaviors that lead to obesity. Also, it's a good place to meet fat chicks. Finally, in Connecticut, a mailman on his route was bitten and dragged by a Rottweiler that held on even after police shot it 5 times. Officers rescued the shaken mailman, who finished his rounds, went back to the post office, and shot 10 people. And that's the way it is. Enjoy your Sunday, folks. Thanks.
And update with NORM MACDONALD.
Thank you. I'm Norm MacDonald, and now the fake news. Moments after the Bosnian peace treaty was signed in Paris, grenades rocked Sarajevo, killing 6 people. Asked if the renewed violence raises questions about the ceasefire, President Clinton hopped a plane to England and lit up a big fat joint. King of Pop Michael Jackson, who collapsed during rehearsals for a concert last week, has been released from the hospital. Doctors say his condition is stable and continues to improve, although he is still a freak. At a tearful press conference Thursday, Utah Congresswoman Enid Waldholtz blamed her financial troubles on her husband, alleged embezzler Joe Waldholtz. The Congresswoman says she was blinded by love for Mr. Waldholtz, who, when they first met, claimed that he was not an embezzler and also that he was not a big fat guy. In sworn testimony this week, Paula Barbieri admitted that she had broken up with O.J. Simpson the very night Nicole Brown Simpson was killed. Boy, that had to be a tough day for O.J., huh? First he gets dumped by his girlfriend, then Colombian hitmen kill his wife. Man, that's... You gotta feel for the guy. Former Oregon Senator Bob Packwood announced this week that he plans to start a consulting business on Capitol Hill. A spokesperson rather, for Packwood's new firm, Maureen O'Donnell, said, hey, let go of my ass. This week, CBS aired the Martha Stewart Christmas special, in which she demonstrated that with an old soup can, some used tea bags, some string, and some sparkles, you can make a useless piece of crap. Frank Sinatra turned 80 this week. Frank Sinatra. And although the singer is said to be suffering from Alzheimer's, he had a typically festive birthday, singing a duet with a hooker and having sex with Tony Bennett. Probably going to end up in Jersey with a meat hook up my ass, but it was a good joke. All right. In Denver this week, Postal Clerk John Pitney startled co-workers when he arrived at work wearing a dress, a gorilla mask, and a strap-on dildo. Most startling of all, he didn't shoot anybody. So, after 30 years of non-stop touring, the Grateful Dead is finally breaking up. Fans of the group, formerly known as Deadheads, will now be called homeless people. In a recent interview, Jane Pauley recalled how back in the 70s, she coined the phrase bad hair day. In another recent interview, Larry King recalled how back in the 70s, he coined the phrase bad face day. Last Sunday's National Hockey League game between the Buffalo Sabres and the Tampa Bay Lightning was postponed due to record snowfall in Buffalo. Or so the Germans would have us believe. Recent studies indicate the number of people getting the AIDS virus appear to be declining sharply. But it is important for viewers to remember one thing. Sex without condoms feels better. Now I have to say this. It should be noted, however, I have no idea what I'm talking about. 18-year-old Julie Wozchak will be going to Paris after winning an essay contest sponsored by the Dayton Daily News. She won for her essay, which was entitled, "Why I Want to Go to Paris with Some Old Guy from the Daily Dayton News." Dayton Daily News. Like that would have helped. Okay. Hollywood prostitute Divine Brown has written a book describing in lurid detail exactly what she did with Hugh Grant. The book sells for $25, but for $35, she'll show you. Last week, a hungry homeless man in a stolen truck led Pennsylvania and New Jersey police on a 100-mile chase before surrendering when he was promised 2 egg sandwiches. When are we going to stop negotiating with terrorists? It's just ridiculous. In Massachusetts, the state legislature will vote this week on whether to ban body-grabbing animal traps. Nervously awaiting the vote is the inventor of the body-grabbing trap, former Senator Bob Packwood. Wrong Way Corrigan, the man who once flew all the way to Ireland by mistake, died this week at the age of 88. It was just like him, said his wife. He was trying to live. You got it all wrong. And finally, next week, Christians everywhere will be celebrating Christmas, or as people born on December the 25th call it, screwed out of a present day. And that's all for now. Good night, folks. Thank you very much. I'm Norm MacDonald. And now here's the fake news. Our top story tonight. As new questions arise about Hillary Clinton's role in Whitewater, the president appears to be distancing himself from the First Lady. Earlier today in his weekly radio address, the president insisted, hey, I sleep with hundreds of girls. I can't vouch for all of them, you know? Meanwhile, the war of words between President Clinton and New York Times columnist William Safire continued to heat up. It all began when Safire called the First Lady a, quote, congenital liar. Clinton responded by saying Safire, quote, deserves a pop in the nose. Safire replied by offering to fight Bill Clinton, quote, anytime, any place. The president answered, quote, how about right now? Then hopped a plane to England and lit up a big fat joint. Is the First Lady a compulsive liar, though? It's beginning to look that way. In an interview on last night's 2020, intended to promote her new book, It Takes a Village, Mrs. Clinton folded under tough questioning by Barbara Walters and admitted that, in fact, it does not take a village, and furthermore, that she was aware that it does not take a village when she wrote the damn book. Oh, my tie looks funny? Thanks there, Bobby. I think maybe that joke had bigger problems than the tie, but in an effort to raise money for his enormous legal bills, O.J. Simpson this week began marketing a video which attempts to prove his innocence. Should the tape not sell, Simpson has a backup idea, his very own video of the actual murders themselves. In one of the most amazing stories to come out of New York's blizzard of '96, supermodel Claudia Schiffer trudged over a mile through waist-high snow this week in order to make it to a photo session. Even more amazing, she sleeps with this guy. And in Boise, the Idaho State Medical Board has censured Dr. LeVar Withers after dozens of women alleged that he fondled them while their legs were up in stirrups. An angry Dr. Withers replied, hey, if I'm such a monster, why didn't they just go to another dentist? In business news, AT&T this week announced the first of 40,000 layoffs. A spokesman for AT&T said, you know anyone who needs a good spokesman? And in California, Christian Brando was released from state prison Monday after serving nearly 5 years for killing his sister's boyfriend. Meanwhile, his father, Marlon Brando, ate 9 pizzas. Well, more bad news for Bill Clinton. This week, an appellate court ruled that Paula Jones can proceed with her sexual harassment suit against the president. Jones' suit is based on a 1991 hotel room encounter during which she alleges that then-Governor Clinton dropped his pants and exposed himself. She is seeking $700,000 in damages, $100,000 for trauma after seeing the governor's penis, and $300,000 for each thigh. Officials at the Philadelphia Zoo report they have actually been able to preserve sperm from an endangered one-horned rhinoceros. The sperm will remain frozen at the zoo until Michael Jackson comes by with a check and picks it up. This year's lack of snow in Alaska could help generate a surplus of moose next year because deep snow makes it harder for moose to search for food, which leaves them more vulnerable to wolves. Or so the Germans would have us believe. A 3-year-old Texas boy remains in fair condition after being assaulted by the family's pet cougar. No one knows why the attack occurred, but hey, how about because their pet is a cougar? How about... 47-year-old Adrienne Brown, wife of soul legend James Brown, died suddenly last week. Most shocking of all, she was not killed by James Brown. And in Polk City, Florida, a man had his stolen car returned, but the cremated remains of his father, I say the cremated remains of his father, are still missing. Don't I know it? Oh, yeah. That's right. Across the nation this Monday, banks and government offices will be closed in observance of Martin Luther King's birthday. Meanwhile, at the Riverbend Maximum Security Prison in Nashville, Dr. King's assassin, James Earl Ray, will spend the day being raped continuously. He's a bad guy, by the way, James Earl Ray, if you don't know that. If that helps. Finally, in U.S. News and World Report's list of the best and worst jobs for 1996 is out. Last year's best job, multimedia software consultant, was replaced by a new best job, bioindustrial engineer. And in the worst job category, last year's winner, crack whore, has lost its spot. The new worst job is assistant crack whore. That's all for now. Thanks, folks. Good night. Good night. Thank you. Thanks. Thank you. I'm Norm MacDonald, and now the fake news, our top story tonight. The nation is still reeling from Thursday's bombshell announcement that Lisa Marie Presley has filed for divorce from Michael Jackson. According to friends, the two were never a good match. She's more of a stay-at-home type, and he's more of a homosexual pedophile. This week, in a speech honoring Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., President Clinton said that if Dr. King were alive today, he would have supported the deployment of U.S. troops to Bosnia. Later, when asked how he could use the late civil rights leader's name in such a self-serving manner, Clinton hopped a plane to England and lit up a big fat joint. Meanwhile, President Clinton is hard at work on Tuesday's State of the Union address, in which he'll focus on crime, education, and the economy. At the request of the First Lady, part of the President's speech will be huge lies. This week on NBC's Dateline, 3 members of the Simpson jury explained their not guilty votes and argued that if Simpson had killed his wife, there should have been blood stains all over his gate, front door, and light switches. Also this week, Simpson friend Al Cowlings released his video, How to Get Blood Stains Off Gates, Front Doors, and Light Switches. And in Brentwood, O.J. himself was spotted manning a lemonade stand with his daughter, Sydney. Asked by reporters why sales were so poor, O.J. replied, "Beats me," and then he went back to cutting lemons with a giant knife. Well, bad news for ice cream moguls Ben and Jerry. This week, the Food and Drug Administration banned their newest flavor, Ben's back hair. In an interview last week, administrators of the FAA, David R. Hinson, explained why English is the only language used by pilots around the world. It turns out all the other languages are weird. Can't even hardly understand most of them. John Goodman has announced that he will not be returning to Roseanne next year. So how will the show get rid of him on screen? Well, insiders now say that over the last few episodes of the season, Roseanne will gradually eat him. And now, Weekend Update would like to wish a happy birthday to comic legend George Burns, who turned 100 years old today. You know, I don't know the secret to his longevity, but I think I speak for all of us when I say I hope Pauly Shore doesn't know it either. Barbara Jordan, the first African-American woman in Congress, died this week at the age of 59. Remarkably, singer James Brown had nothing to do with it. Eric Etheridge, editor of George magazine, has quit over policy differences with the publication's editor-in-chief, John F. Kennedy, Jr. Translation, they're both banging the same receptionist. Finally, legendary pool hustler Minnesota Fats passed away Wednesday. You know, now he's probably up in heaven, racking them up for a game with St. Peter. Or maybe he's in hell, where demons gnaw at his flesh and the agonies of the damned never cease. Either way, he'll be missed. And that's all for now, folks. That's the way it is. Good night. Thanks, folks. Thank you. I'm Norm MacDonald, and now the fake news. Our top story tonight, according to the latest CNN poll of Iowa voters, Steve Forbes has pulled ahead of Senator Bob Dole in the race for Republican presidential nomination. However, he still trails both Ross Perot and John DuPont in the race for craziest rich guy. Meanwhile, Republican hopeful Phil Gramm says that Bob Dole should not get the nomination because he backed President Clinton's plan to send troops to Bosnia. Dole responded that Graham should not be nominated for president because, well, look at him. Take a gander at the fella. More questions about Hillary Rodham Clinton's truthfulness. In an interview this week, the First Lady claimed that she won the women's 100-meter dash at the 1956 Olympics, and that she had an IQ of, quote, over 700. When it was pointed out to her that these were not especially good lies, Mrs. Clinton responded, "I know, I have a problem," and then added, "I invented the formula for 7-Up." Last week, basketball legend, Magic Johnson. Last week, basketball legend Magic Johnson rejoined the Los Angeles Lakers 4 years after learning he was HIV positive. NBA doctors have assured the league's players that they have absolutely nothing to worry about, as long as when they are guarding Magic, they remember not to have sex with him. And late today, rescuers intensified their search of shark-infested waters off the Dominican Republic. for those still missing after the crash of a chartered 757. Also joining the search, sharks. Last Sunday, during halftime at the Pro Bowl, New York police officer Michael Volino, who had been coached in place kicking by the New York Jets, missed a 35-yard field goal, thus blowing his chance to win $1 million. Experts said his chief mistake was being coached by the New York Jets. In his civil court deposition this week, O.J. Simpson denied under oath that he ever punched, kicked, or slapped his ex-wife, Nicole. Oh, great. As if O.J. isn't busy enough tracking down the real killers, now he's got to track down the real wife-beater, too. This guy is crazy. Well, more bad news for ice cream moguls Ben and Jerry in their continuing battle with the Food and Drug Administration. This week, the FDA banned their newest flavor, stuff from Ben's beard. Meddling bureaucracy wrecking that. And in Louisiana, Amtrak has agreed to drop its speed limit from 75 miles per hour to 69, following a meeting between train safety experts and giggly high school kids. Stephen Simmons, the Pennsylvania man who smoked 800 cigarettes in under 6 minutes, has earned himself a coveted place in the Guinness Book of World Records. The record? World's most massive heart attack. Well, at a local town meeting in Montpelier, Vermont last week, representatives from the McDonald's Corporation, who want to put a restaurant in a historic district, were booed by angry residents, but they were cheered by the town fat guy. Every town has one, the town fat guy. In Fort Pierce, Florida, many Bell South customers will no longer pay long-distance phone rates for nearby calls, but will instead be charged with a flat rate of 25 cents. Or so the Germans would have us believe. Today in New York, the world's best chess player, Garry Kasparov, will challenge the world's best chess-playing computer, the IBM 9000. No matter who wins, man or machine, one thing is certain: no one gives a crap about chess. 2 weeks ago, a record number of viewers around the world watched the Dallas Cowboys beat the Pittsburgh Steelers in Super Bowl 30. The game was the closest in recent years, as the Cowboys, who had been favored by 14 points, sealed a 10-point victory with Larry Brown's interception of a Neil O'Donnell pass in the closing minutes. Larry has graciously agreed to talk with us about the game tonight on Weekend Update. So here, from the Dallas Cowboys, Super Bowl MVP, Larry Brown. Larry, thanks for coming, Larry.
My pleasure, Norm.
Now, Larry, I know this is not an easy question, but the Cowboys were favored by 14 points, and you only won by 10. You didn't cover the spread. What went wrong?
Well, Norm, I don't know that anything went wrong. We knew that Pittsburgh had a fine football team, and we were just happy to come away with the win.
Yeah, right. But was there a point in the fourth quarter when you and your teammates looked at each other and said, it's just not our day. It wasn't meant to be. We're not going to cover the spread, and people who bet on us are going to lose a lot of money.
No, we were just happy that we won the game. You know, we went out and played hard, and just happy to come away with the win.
Okay, well, Larry, at halftime, the Cowboys were ahead 13-7. Was there a lot of talk in the locker room about the over-under?
I don't know what that is.
Okay, you're right. Let's get back to the spread. There's probably been a lot of crowing in Pittsburgh this week about how the Steelers beat the spread, but you know, if you ask me, the Steelers didn't beat the spread. The Cowboys beat themselves from beating the spread. Do you agree with that?
Norm, have we lost sight of the fact here that we did win the game?
No. Don't get me wrong, Larry. You personally have nothing to be ashamed of. You had a great game, and without your 2 interceptions, the Cowboys wouldn't even have come close to covering the spread. You can hold your head high, I'll tell you that.
Thank you, Norm. Thank you very much.
Okay. Larry, can I borrow $25,000?
Whoa! That's a lot of money, Norm. What's it for?
Well, I think you probably know.
Gee, I usually don't lend that much money, Norm.
Larry, they say they're going to kill me.
All right, Norm, but I want it back.
Okay, all right. Good. You're a good man, a scholar, and a gentleman. Thank you. And I'll get you this back right after Monday's Delaware State Lottery drawing. So don't worry about it.
You'd better.
Okay, Larry Brown, everybody. Larry Brown. All right. Thanks, buddy. And finally, in entertainment news, ex-Playboy centerfold Anna Nicole Smith has filed for bankruptcy. And saddest of all, she slept with this guy for nothing. Okay, folks, that's the way it is. Good night.
Weekend Update with Norm MacDonald.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm Norm MacDonald. Now, here's the fake news. Our top story tonight. Following his poor finish in the Iowa caucuses, Texas Senator Phil Gramm is withdrawn from the presidential race and will soon announce his full backing and support for first-place finisher Bob Dole. In response, Dole said, "I am screwed." In Whitewater news, federal regulators quizzed Hillary Clinton at the White House this week and gave her a perfect score on the lying section. She's a dirty liar. Meanwhile, President Clinton turned flood-damaged sections of the Pacific Northwest this week and promised that every flood victim will receive meals, blankets, and pup tents. Meanwhile, millionaire Stephen Forbes promised every flood victim a case of champagne and a rare Austrian music box. Hey, more controversy for Minister Louis Farrakhan. During his recent trips to Iran, the Nation of Islam leader said to reporters, "You can quote me, God will destroy America by the hands of Muslims." And then, in the most shocking part of his statement, Farrakhan added, "Happy President's Day, everybody." Speaking out against the new Pentagon policy, President Clinton has vowed to keep HIV-positive soldiers in the military. Many in Congressmen wanted them discharged, arguing that their presence in the armed forces will make our enemies afraid to fight wars with us. Earlier this week, the Food and Drug Administration gave approval to Nicorette chewing gum, an over-the-counter aid for those trying to quit smoking. Next, the agency will rule on another addiction-fighting product. The title of that one is, "I Can't Believe It's Not Crack." You know where there's great crack is Detroit. Now, you hear about it, but you got to really try it. In the former Soviet Union this week, there's a phone call here. Here, I have a phone. Let me see now. Who would this be? Hello?
Hey, Norm, what's up? It's OJ.
OJ, hey. Hi, OJ. Hey, what have you been up to?
I just got back from the movie.
Oh, the movie. What'd you see?
Beautiful girls.
Oh, yeah. Who's in that again?
Oh, you know, Uma Thurman, Lauren Harlan, Mira Sorvino, Rosie O'Donnell.
Rosie O'Donnell's in Beautiful Girls?
I know, Norm. I was nonplussed myself.
Anyway there, Juice. Hey, how's it going with the manhunt there for the killers?
Oh, Norm, don't ask.
Not good, huh?
That is an understatement. I'm no closer to finding the real killers today than I was when I started. It's like they vanished into thin air.
Oh, well, give it time there, OJ. You know, it can't be that bad.
Oh, believe me, it is that bad. Sometimes I feel like I might as well shut down the whole investigation.
Oh, come on now. Hey, did anything ever come out of that lead you picked up there about the shadowy figure leaving the crime scene?
No, you're not going to believe it. It turns out that was me.
Well, so I guess that's a dead end, huh?
Yeah.
Well, hey, how about that guy that was seen running back to your house by limo driver Alan Parks?
Well, guess what? That turns out that was me also.
Oh. Well, what are you going to do, huh?
Nothing you can do. Sometimes you just have to laugh. Anyway, Norm, while I have you here, I was going to ask you a favor.
Oh, yeah, sure, Juice. What is it?
Well, I produced a video dealing with some of the inconsistencies in the evidence, and I've been having trouble getting the 800 number out on the airwaves.
Really? I'll put it out.
Okay, that would be great. It's 1-800-555-0165.
Oh, okay. That's 1-800-555-0165?
Right. 1-800-555-0165.
Okay, 1-800-555-0165. Okay. Hey, what's the video cost there, OJ? Was it like $100?
Oh, no, it's $29.95.
$29.95? Good Lord, that's nothing.
Yeah, well,
You're practically giving it away.
we're trying to price it so that the average person can afford to buy it.
Well, OJ, the question's not can the average person afford to buy it? The question is, can the average person afford not to buy it?
Well, we think it's a quality video.
Well, the price is certainly right. Hey, let me ask you a favor, OJ. Can I give out that number one more time?
Sure.
Okay, then. That's 1-800-555-0165.
Right. Okay, Norm, I'm going to let you go.
Okay, Juice. Hey, take care, buddy. O.J. Simpson, everybody. O.J. Simpson. O.J. the Juice. Well, in a sworn deposition this week, O.J. Simpson claimed that he never, ever beat, choked, or hit his ex-wife with a closed or open fist. Luckily for O.J., lawyers forgot to ask if he'd ever cut her head off. According to DEA officials, Colombia's President Ernesto Samper is the target of a formal indictment, charged with accepting $6 million in Cali cartel drug money to finance his election campaign. In Colombia, the legal limit on drug money contributions, of course, $5 million. So he was way over that. In entertainment news, there are reports that actor Charlie Sheen and model Donna Peel are splitting up. You know, when two people like this separate, there's really only one winner. Heidi Fleiss. See, With peanut consumption in the United States down 10%, the Peanut Advisory Board has decided to launch a $600,000 publicity campaign. Most of the funds will go towards spreading ugly rumors about almonds and cashews. That's not right, huh? Finally, some good news for Steve Forbes in his recent sputtering presidential campaign. This week, he picked up the endorsement of Forbes magazine. Medical researchers at Duke University have found the human body's internal stopwatch. So if you've lost an internal stopwatch, please contact Duke University at the address below. There was an unusual prison escape this week in Washington, D.C., where 2 inmates hid in the back of a garbage truck and were dumped in a landfill. The 2 men, covered in filth and garbage, remained at large for nearly 3 days by convincing people they were Mickey Rourke and Keanu Reeves. Under a new ordinance, exotic, nude, and topless dancing will be banned in any establishment selling alcoholic beverages in the city of New Iberia, Louisiana, or as I now refer to it, the most horrible place on earth. A celebrated fertility statue, which many believe has the power to make women pregnant, began a nationwide tour this week. The hundreds of women who claim it caused their pregnancies are of different ages, races, and religions. But they all have one thing in common. They are all dirty, dirty whores. Dirty, dirty whores. Thank you very much. Thanks, I'm Norm MacDonald, and now the fake news. Our top story tonight, just days after winning the New Hampshire primary, Pat Buchanan has become the target of savage attacks within the Republican Party. On a positive note, however, he did pick up the enthusiastic endorsement of Bill Clinton, the President of the United States of America. Can't get much higher than that. In Colorado this week, Bob Dole warned that if Pat Buchanan is the Republican nominee, the party might lose both the presidency and control of Congress. In response, Buchanan warned that if anyone other than himself becomes president, blacks will retain the right to vote. Six of one, half dozen of another. During an interview 2 weeks ago, Bob Dole said to a reporter, quote, "Whoever wins in New Hampshire will probably be the Republican nominee." When approached by the reporter for a quote following his stunning loss Tuesday, Dole locked himself in his campaign bus and pretended to be asleep. A new development in the O.J. Simpson civil trial this week. According to sworn testimony, Nicole Brown Simpson had told her therapist that she was afraid of getting beaten by O.J. Simpson. Asked why he didn't report this earlier, the therapist said, "I was afraid of getting beaten by O.J. Simpson." I said getting beaten, and that may have hurt a little. Following a new outbreak of the Ebola virus in Africa last week, health officials have issued the following warning to those who may have come in contact with the virus. Drink plenty of fluids and stay the hell away from me. Well, this week, world chess champion Garry Kasparov defeated an IBM computer in their 6-game chess series. Experts are calling the encounter between chess wizard and supercomputer historic because, for the first time ever, it brought together both geeks and nerds. And this week, the leaders of Bosnia, Serbia, and Croatia averted a threat to the peace accord by agreeing that suspected war criminals will be arrested only if they are among the 52 already indicted. The remaining war criminals will be allowed to continue as staff workers for Pat Buchanan. And in the state of Washington, deaths from heroin hit record levels during 1995. Sorry, crack, it just wasn't your year. Well, television history will be made this week when film legend Elizabeth Taylor appears as herself on all 4 CBS Monday night sitcoms. It's part of the network's new campaign, Must Eat TV. She enjoys eating. Well, the Learning Annex in New York is offering a new course to teach women how to smoke cigars. The fee to enroll in the class is $100. The fee to watch the class is $200. A shocking crime in Bunnell, Florida, where a 92-year-old man in a nursing home has been charged with sexually assaulting an 85-year-old woman. A nurse who witnessed the attack has not stopped vomiting. In St. Louis, archaeologists will use special radar on nearby landfills in an effort to find the 70-foot axle from a Ferris wheel, which was the centerpiece of the 1904 World's Fair. Or so the Germans would have us believe. And finally, in Falls City, Nebraska, John Lotter has been sentenced to death for attempting to kill 3 people in what prosecutors called a plot to silence a cross-dressing female who had accused him of rape. Now, this might strike some of you as harsh, but I believe everyone involved in this story should die. Okay, and that's the way it is, folks. Good night. Thank you. Good evening. I'm Norm MacDonald, and now the fake news, our top story tonight. After devastating losses in this week's Super Tuesday primaries, a humiliated Steve Forbes has dropped out of the presidential race. Reportedly, Forbes was so despondent that he was overheard to say, "I feel like $1 million." Meanwhile, Pat Buchanan has warned that if frontrunner Bob Dole chooses General Colin Powell as a running mate, his followers will march out of the Republican convention. Later, Buchanan admitted that actually his followers march everywhere they go. In a Michigan courtroom this week, Dr. Jack Kevorkian was acquitted of murder charges after jurors agreed that he had made a compelling argument for assisted suicide. Well, Chelsea Clinton turned 16 a few weeks ago, and apparently her father has been teaching her to drive. Early reports say that under the president's tutelage, the first daughter has become exceptionally good at cruising for chicks. According to a Senate Committee on Violence, Denise Brown has done more to bring attention to the cause of battered women than any other person. Well, almost any other person. Once again, OJ gets the short shrift. And in business news, this week Kmart introduced its new credit card, and already the chain has been swamped with applications. So if you apply for a Kmart credit card and are turned down, kill yourself. A new study has found that cheating is up dramatically on many of the nation's best college campuses, and, quote, students who cheat and get away with it continue to cheat into their adult lives. So says Rutgers University professor Don McCabe. Don McCabe is the feller's name. In Maine, a dog trained to dial 911 successfully notified paramedics after its owner's oxygen mask became loose. It was a close call, however, as 911 operators had trouble locating the address. Woof, woof. In Little Rock, Arkansas, a consumer group is proceeding with a petition drive to get a proposal on the November ballot that would exempt food from state sales tax. Or so the Germans would have us believe. Only weeks away from parenthood, Pamela Lee Anderson and her husband, rocker Tommy Lee, are considering names for their new baby. If it's a girl, they'll name it after the mother and call it Pamela. And if it's a boy, they'll name it after the father and call it Lucky Bastard. Well, Washington, D.C. Mayor Marion Barry says he has devised a money-saving plan that would close the district's Lorton prison and transfer its 7,000 inmates to private lockups. One hitch is that the financially strapped district doesn't have the startup money to implement the plan. Another hitch is that the guy who devised the plan smokes crack. So, 2 hitches. Well, the results are in for 1995, and once again, Microsoft CEO Bill Gates is the richest man in America. Gates says that he is grateful for his huge financial success, but it still makes him sad when he looks around and sees other people who have any money whatsoever. Last week in Colorado, 71 guns were traded for Denver Nuggets basketball tickets in a program called Operation Ceasefire. However, in a sad example of just how tough it is to stop the violence, earlier today, 2 people were stabbed to death with Denver Nugget tickets. The U.S. Public Health Service has begun using CIA spy technology from the 70s to detect tumors in women's breasts. Doctors can now determine if a breast has a cancerous tumor, and also if it has been squeezed by a communist. Well, in a recent interview, Christopher Reeve said that Robin Williams' comedy helped convince him to go on living. He then added that Pauly Shore's comedy made him pray for the sweet release that death would bring. Last year, German Shepherds were rated the nation's most effective police dogs by far, sniffing out more than $100 million worth of illegal drugs. Or so the German Shepherds would have us believe. Technical glitch of some sort there. And in Independence, Missouri, a library that was to be the second stop for an exhibit called Banned Books as Art has decided to ban the exhibit. Librarian Fran Murray, who personally ordered the ban, said she has nothing against any of the books. She just loves irony. And finally, on a sad note, the entire nation joins us here at Weekend Update in mourning the death of comic legend George Burns. Let this be a lesson to all you kids out there. Smoking kills. And that's it. See you next week, folks.
Weekend Update with Norm MacDonald.
Thank you very much. Wow. Thanks, folks. I'm Norm MacDonald. And now the fake news. Our top story tonight in Los Angeles this week, Lyle and Eric Menendez were found guilty of first-degree murder. So, to review California law, it is killing your wife, legal. Killing your parents, illegal. In the wake of the verdict, angry Menendez defense attorney Leslie Abramson said the jury simply chose not to believe the brothers' excuse that they had been sexually abused by their father, and says she knows why. Quote, "It's because my clients are black." This week, after 50 hours of failed budget talks with Bill Clinton, a frustrated Bob Dole said, quote, "We ought to have a new president," and added, "and he should be a really, really old guy." In other political news, Texas billionaire Ross Perot announced this week that if his party wants him to run for president, he will. According to Insider, it is the first step in Perot's plan to waste the last few years of Bob Dole's life. Yesterday on Rivera Live, Cato Kalin made the startling admission that he now thinks O.J. Simpson is guilty.
although authorities suspect this may just be part of an attempt by Cato to crash at Fred Goldman's place for a while. Meanwhile, Simpson Dream Team attorney Alan Dershowitz was back in the news this week, and good Lord is he ugly. Take a look at the guy. I mean, this is an ugly, ugly guy. No two ways about it. An ugly character. All right. In Paris, pop star Michael Jackson has announced a deal with a Saudi prince to launch an international chain of, quote, virtual reality wedding chapels. This makes this the most normal thing Michael Jackson has ever done. And in a recent interview, tenor Luciano Pavarotti says that he is so in love with his new girlfriend that he likes to run nude on the beach with her. Read all about this in this month's issue of Things That Make Me Vomit. That picture makes me vomit as well. Well, NCAA March Madness has hit two of our nation's governors. Before Thursday's UMass-Arkansas game, Massachusetts Governor Bill Weld challenged his Arkansas counterpart to a wager. Weld bet a crock of Boston baked beans on his team, while Arkansas Governor Jim Guy Tucker bet nearly $10 million in funds looted from failed SNL. Well, filming has finally begun on the long-awaited life story of Evita Peron, starring pop singer Madonna. According to its producers, the film is 100% historically accurate, except for the part where Mrs. Peron has group sex with the Houston Rockets. A Minnesota woman has patented a batting helmet that she designed for her daughters that features a cutout in the back for a ponytail to poke through. The helmet will be marketed to young girls and damn dirty hippies. This winter, the state of Maine had a record 260 snowmobile accidents, most of them caused by drinking and speeding. Although, if you're not drinking and speeding, what the hell's the point of riding a damn snowmobile? Not a lot of fun. In honor of this year's Academy Awards, Carnival Airlines is offering anyone named Oscar a free flight to or from Los Angeles. The airline had tried a similar promotion in the past for the Tony Awards, but according to airline spokesmen, they found that their planes were packed with too many, quote, greasy Italians. 3 years ago, an 11-year-old British schoolgirl put a message in a bottle and tossed it into the Atlantic Ocean. Well, this week, she was astounded to receive a reply from halfway around the world. Sadly, the reply read, "You're 11, what are you wearing?"
Update with Norm MacDonald.
Thank you very much. Thanks, folks. Thank you. I'm Norm MacDonald, and now the fake news, our top story tonight. After a search of nearly 18 years, the man known as the Unabomber has apparently been caught. Theodore Kaczynski is described as a genius with degrees in mathematics from both Harvard and the University of Michigan. Well, now perhaps Americans can focus on our real enemy. Fancy book learning. Although only one of his victims was from California, Governor Pete Wilson is pushing to have the Unabomber suspect